My name is Danny Perez, and today I'm going to be doing my ENA 3 final presentation summative exam for my Engineering Architecture 3 class for Joliet Central High School for my senior year. I will showcase all the projects I have done, which is going to be exciting. It's for my last year. So, at the very beginning of the semester, I did a puzzle game. Especially 3D printed, because we got into 3D printers. So I think the reason I chose this was because I wanted to test them out, and I never 3D printed before, so just wanted to see how it would work out. So I decided to do something simple, and a puzzle cube. It's a project I did, I believe my ENA 2 class or ENA 1. I don't really remember, but I chose it because I wanted to tinker around with 3D printing and see how I could make up a new combination without using the old one. So here is my sketches for the puzzle cube, and after figuring out what I'm going to do as combinations and how the parts would look like, I went on to the modeling process in Inventor. After that, I started working on the working drawings. As you can see, I had my title page and a page where it displayed all the parts individually, while also including mass volume and how many parts were needed. Then was the fun part and tedious. 3D printing. Um, I learned how to use Bamboo, which was very confusing at first. So different. It had like a bunch of settings, but it was surprisingly very easy. And it was a very easy process. It only took like about 5 minutes, I believe. And this is how it turned out with different colors and material. And I really liked it. It was surprisingly very easy to figure it out and get used to. I think it was a good project to start off the year. So for my next project, I did a speaker again. Um, I wanted to do it again because I knew I could improve it. I knew I could add more stuff to it and use more of the space in the wood, so I can add more designs and use up all the space because I don't like it when there's like empty space in parts I design. I try to add most of the stuff I can, so there's like no empty spaces. So after designing, modeling, all of that, this is what I came up with, and I feel it turned out pretty nicely. Now the only thing left to do was to laser cut, and this is how it turned out after laser cutting. As you can see, this is the one I did. This is the one I did. The very first one I did. I really like how it turned out. Okay, as for second semester, custom line project. I remember doing this for my ENA 2 class. Yes, at the end of the year, I believe. Um, but we did it again this year, in which we had to come up with our own different kind of lamp. And as we did first, we started researching, which is the very first part of the engineering process. So we researched different lamps. I stuck with these two as I wanted to do another standing lamp, very differently from the one I did last year, but this time we could incorporate 3D printing and laser cutting. So what I was going to do was going to 3D print the base and laser cut the parts of the lamp. And these were the lamp sketches I came up with. I wanted to do a different kind of base, like a hexagonal base, but it turned out I don't know how to draw hexagons or any shape that matter. So I just stuck with this one. It's right here. But I made it more taller. And as for the walls, I think I kept it the same, but the only thing I didn't do was the little top piece here. So we moved on to prototyping, the very first one. And as you can see, as I was prototyping and cutting up my walls, I realized that the base was very small. And everything else was all right. The light bulb would fit, but the only thing that was off was the base, since if it would not balance with the cord of the lamp. So I needed to change that. After all of that was changed, I went on to modeling. So this is the actual final base I had. I made it more taller, so the lamp cord could hang off, but also be balanced. And here are the walls of my lamp. After that, I assembled it all together. I know it looks like it won't open, but for me, my idea was glue all of it together and leave the top piece open so I could open this and access the light bulb from the inside. As also, you can see here, my exploded assembly. The light bulb will go right here, and then this would pop open so I could change the light bulb if I wanted to. After that, I went on to working drawings. As you can see, I have my exploded assembly with its part list and the base with its dimensions. After laser cutting and 3D printing, this is how the base turned out. Turned out pretty nicely since it has a little bit of room and it doesn't unbalance and it's standing upright. And after putting it all together, this is how it turned out, which was pretty nice. I really liked it. As we go more further on, I had to do a car for Skills USA, in which I was competing with my partner in additive manufacturing. So most of my time was trying to come up with a car that could move on a single rubber band. And for most of the time, I spent my time modeling and doing presentations for the competition itself. As you can see here, these are some of my slides from that presentation. And you can see how our car improved as we went more further on and how we brainstormed all of that. And this is also some of our other slides, like our prototypes and then our final design itself, improvements, which was very tedious throughout the process since we had testing, but we were able to manage making it, and we actually had something to turn in at the end, which I believe was a great accomplishment. And as we go on to the end, I had my Plex project that I wanted to do. This was something that lasted through the rest of May. So right now, I am still doing. So I took on 2 more, and it was similar to my other project, but it would scale a more bigger. And as you can see, I believe the circles were, if I'm not wrong, I think they were 7 inches in diameter. I might be way off with the dimensions, but I believe that's what they were. And the bases would be the exact same size, so it could be a tight fit, so I wouldn't use glue for it, which would be very nice. And this is how they turned out. They turned out pretty nicely. One thing that I always went through was the pieces of wood would be very bold, and then the engraving would not turn out so nicely. And I feel like that's what happens every single time I try to laser cut. But every piece of wood I have, it's always bowed, so I always take like a gamble on. Hopefully, it doesn't turn out that bad. And that's it for my presentation. I really liked it. Really liked the class. Um, it had its moments, especially through like the end of April, especially that skills card. It had its moments, but in the end, I really liked the class. It was very fun. For all 4 years that I've been in it, I've learned a lot, and I've met great people because of it, and I've done a lot of great stuff. And I feel like I learned a lot, and I learned how to use a laser cutter. I learned how to 3D print, which I never thought I would do. And I competed in many competitions. And in the end, I really liked the class. So, yeah.